program for seniors. If I've got a mailer lead, I'm zooming in, showing them their signature. If they don't have a mailer lead, I'm still sending in, showing them their signature or showing them their some sort of information. I'm going to say, it looks like you put down your favorite color is blue, or your favorite hobby is watching Jerry Springer or The Price is Right. Then you just say, assume your way in. Is this your signature, or is that your favorite hobby? Okay, perfect. I'm the lucky one that got assigned your case. It's just my job to go over the information that you requested. Is there a table we can sit down at, right? So I'm going to say apologize, announce, assign, assume. Hey, Zach, sorry to catch you off guard. My name's Max. I'm licensed by the state. I'm the local benefits coordinator out here in Mecklenburg County. Zach, the reason I'm at your house is you filled out this card requesting help on the state-regulated benefit program for seniors. Is this your signature? Or it looks like you put down your favorite hobby is, watching The Price is Right. Perfect. I'm the lucky one that got assigned your case. It's just my job to go over the information that you requested. Is there a table we can sit down at? Assuming that they let me in, I can get into objections on another night. This is just a consolidated presentation. What I'm going to do next is, let me go ahead and hit record.
Recording in progress.
Okay. So once I get into their house, the first step is connect. So I like to always, like I mentioned before, a professional knows what they're going to say before they get to their house, and amateurs shooting from the hips. So I like to ask the same connecting questions to every single person. And these are surface level questions. They're questions that don't offend people. I'm not walking in and saying, who'd you vote for? You know what I mean? That could take things the wrong direction. I'm not saying is you like the Cowboys, I like the Panthers. You know what I mean? I'm not saying things like that that's going to take people down a road that I don't want them to go down. Some of the questions that I like to ask it, I'll say, so Zach, were you born around here? Or did you go to high school or school around here? Are you born around here? Okay. First I'll say, hey, Zach, are you from here? That's the first question. Then the second question is, are you born and raised? These are very surface level questions that almost anyone would be willing to answer. So are you from here, born and raised? Then I'll say, well, what high school did you go to? Those are three questions. Some of these people don't have college degrees, so I'm not going to offend them by having them say something like, oh, I didn't go to college. I'm going to say most everybody went to high school at least freshman year. So are you from here, born and raised? What high school did you go to? The next question I ask is, did you play any sports? At that time, I'm usually sitting down at wherever we're going to give the presentation. At that point, I'll usually ask now, real quick, are you still working? Okay, you are, or you're not still working. If they tell me that they're still working, I'll ask them where it is that they're working. Then I'll say, oh, are you planning on retiring anytime soon? Do they give you any sort of a pension for retirement, any sort of retirement benefits? That's going to be a question that could unlock an annuity potential down the line. But these are all very surface level questions meant to connect with people and meant to try to get them to open up to you just about general things that most anybody would be okay talking about, right? One thing that you can pick up on is the longer that people talk in a row with good body language and a smile, this is going to tell you how easy it is for you to connect with them and break down their wall. If they're not, if they're giving you really short questions, really short answers, it's going to tell you that you haven't found a hot button yet, and it's going to be really tough to ask them for a sale yet, right? You can't just go in and ask somebody for the sale if they're giving you yes, no responses, right? You need to get them opening up, and if you can't get it in the connection part, your next phase of getting people to open up is when you go into the living benefits, because you're trying to give them something for free, and who doesn't want something for free, okay? So I'll ask them, are you from here, born and raised? What high school did you go to? Did you play any sports? Once I'm sitting down, I'm looking for pictures of their family. If I see pictures of their family, I'll say, oh, is that your family? How many kids do you got? How many grandkids do you got? And this is my power line that always gets people to connect. And I'll say, do you have a favorite grandkid or a favorite kid? And then usually they'll say yes or no. But if they do have grandkids, I'll say, you know what my grandmother used to say, Miss Johnson? I love my grandkids, but I love my kids, but I think I love my grandkids more. And then that right there, it's like a fish taking the bait. They just take off running and they just talk. Every person that's got grandkids loves to talk about their grandkids, right? And then at the end of them talking, no matter what they have said, I'll say, yeah, you know, my grandma sounds a lot like you, or my grandparents sound a lot like you. They used to say they'll just spoil them and send them back home to their parents. And then that's the second phase of them just taking off running. They'll just talk about how they spoil their grandkids and send them back to their parents. Now, when they stop talking about this, at that point, it's when I transition into my presentation, okay? And I'll say, Miss Johnson, it sounds like, you know, we could sit here and talk all day, but I got a lot of people to see, and I know you've probably got things to do. So let me go ahead and jump into this and see what I can do to help you out with the information that you requested. So then at that point, I'll pull out my presentation. Up until that point, I'll have my tablet closed and I'll have my body language open. I'll be smiling, I'll be nodding my head, and I'll be just analyzing their body language to try to learn as much about where they are in their head as I possibly can. Now, once I pull up my presentation, let's see real quick. All right, doing all right on time. All right, once I pull up my presentation, I'll say, all right, here we go. Now, Ms. Johnson, like I mentioned, you know, it sounds like we could talk all day, but I know you got things to do, and I've got a lot of people to see. After COVID, we're way backed up. So I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get out here to you, but let me see what I can do to help you out. Now, the company that we're with is called North American Senior Benefits. Now, we've been around since 1957. Now, I haven't been around since 1957, Miss Johnson. The company has. It's about twice as old as me. Now, do you recognize this right here, Miss Johnson? And I'll point up to here and I'll hold it up into their face. And if they say they do recognize it, I'm not just going to take that I do recognize it. I'm going to say, well, what is it? Because what I want to do, a lot of these people just automatically respond. You need to get them actively communicating with you and thinking, because that's going to make them think about the things that you're saying and not just saying yes or no and not really listening to what you're saying, right? So I'm going to say, what is it? They're going to say, I don't know. Or they'll say, oh, it's the Better Business Bureau. And I'm going to say, perfect. It's the Better Business Bureau. We like to show this to folks because we're proud of it. We've got an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. So what that means is that in over 60 years, we've got no unresolved complaints. We're a Christian-based organization, and we try to do right by people. And a lot of times they'll say, that's good. That's good. That's good. And then I'll go right on to the next one. And I'll say, now what we do, Ms. Johnson, is we like to help folks with free state-regulated benefits. And I'll zoom in right here and say free, free, free. At this point, they're seeing free, and they're like, okay, maybe this guy's not full of some BS. I'm sitting here looking at free, free, free. That's why I point at it, zoom in, and say free, free, free. And then right underneath, I've highlighted and I'll say, there's no fees to join, no monthly charges. These are benefits that you're entitled to as a senior over the age of 50 in the state of North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, whatever state you're in. Now, some of these benefits include discounts on prescriptions, dental, vision, hearing, medical lab tests, state-regulated life insurance plans, state-regulated burial plans, all kinds of stuff. And at that point, this is the first time that I'm dropping life insurance, unless at the door they filled out a card that was strictly for life insurance, at which time then I'll go ahead and mention life insurance briefly at the door. Now, what I'll say next is when it comes to prescriptions, what we tell folks is that if you're paying more than $20 per month out of pocket for any of your prescriptions, with the exception of insulin, pain medications, or inhalers, a lot of times we can get that down to less than $20 per month. And I'll always do insulin, pain medications, or inhalers, and then I'll bring my hands like this, because so much about sales is body language. And I'm nodding my head the whole time too, okay? Now, what I'm trying to do when I'm going into prescriptions is I'm preliminarily underwriting them to decide, is it going to be worth my time to sit here and talk to them, or are they on oxygen, or are they on some sort of major medical issue to where I can't probably give them day one coverage? And if they've got coverage, they may be in a better spot. But if they have a major health issue, one of the big five or something like that, I'm reaching out to the group chat. I'm asking, my mentor, whoever it may be, is this something that I should be wasting time on or taking time on? But I'm really trying to offer them help on prescriptions if they're paying money out of pocket, but get a list of the prescriptions that they're taking and find out what their health issues is without prying too much, and showing them that I'm there to help them. It's really important that you genuinely are there to help people. These people can spot a phony, they can spot a fake, and if you're only there to make money, it's gonna really, really cripple your potential of what you're able to do with this company. So you really have to be there to genuinely try to help people. I'm telling you, it goes a long way. It's important that you connect. You've got a good attitude. You know what you're going to say, and you're there to help people. So when it comes to prescriptions, what we tell folks is if you're paying more than $20 a month out of pocket for any of your prescriptions, with the exception of insulin, pain medications, or inhalers, a lot of times we're able to get those costs down. Now, I'll always say this. I'll say, now, Miss Johnson, you look healthy as can be. Even if she doesn't look healthy, I'll say you look healthy as can be. Have you ever had a heart attack, stroke, cancer, diabetes, COPD, any of that stuff? You taking any medications? And a lot of times they'll open up and tell you. And at that point, I'm looking down at my tablet and I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. And I'll say, now, how many years young are you, Miss Johnson? And I'll put down their age. And what about tobacco, non-tobacco? Have you smoked, used tobacco, yes or no? Now, I'm getting this information. And when I get this information, a lot of times I'm going ahead and texting it to whoever I'm working with, asking them if they've got any immediate feedback for me while I continue my presentation. Because sometimes there's a delay in the group chat. And if you go ahead and blast this information out, it keeps you from having to sit around and wait for a response. Now, depending on what happens there, then I move on to the next. Now, I'll say, now, the next thing we help out with is dental. Now, we can't get you free dental work, Miss Johnson, but we can get you a discount, and the discount's free to you. You can see right here, save up to 45%, and that works at most major dental places. What we do is if you need dental help, we'll fill out a card. We'll send the card in. It takes about 2 months to come back, but you'll get it in your mailbox. Call the number on the back, and they'll tell you all the dentists within 20 miles of your house that'll accept it. Did you need any dental work, Miss Johnson? Oh, you do? Okay, cool. I'll write this down and activate it for you. Oh, you don't? No problem. Let's see what else we can help you with. The next thing we can help you out with is vision, Miss Johnson. Now, do you need any glasses? Oh, okay, you already got glasses. Okay, you do need some glasses? Cool. Well, I can save you 50% off, and that works at all major places. Sam's, Lens Crafters, Walmart. You can see right here, most major places, just like the dental, I activate the card for you. It takes about 2 months to come in. When it comes, call the number on the back. They'll tell you all the places that accept it. Not free dental work, but it can get you a discount, and the discount's free to you. Now, with the vision, and the discount's free to you. Now, the next thing that we can help out with, Ms. Johnson, is hearing. Now, did you need any hearing aids? Sometimes they'll be like, no, I'm good on that. Or if they say no, they're good on that, I'll say, what about selective hearing, Miss Johnson? You ever had somebody tell you that you got selective hearing? And sometimes they'll be like, when you hear what you want to hear, and I'll say, yep, that's it. And then they'll start laughing. Or if they don't know and they'll look at me crazy, I'll say, it's where you hear what you want to hear, Miss Johnson. You ever had somebody tell you you had that? And laugh a little bit. And a lot of times that'll make them laugh. You're dropping their guard. You're getting them loose. You're making them have a little bit of fun. You're connecting with them while giving the presentation and trying to help them out. So the whole presentation is really helping you connect because you're trying to help them out, but it's putting you in a position when you transition into the life insurance and it's time to blame to them that they're going to be comfortable enough with you to have that conversation. Now, the next thing is medical lab tests, any blood work. Miss Johnson, do you ever need any of that? Oh, you need it? Okay, cool. I can save you 10%. Oh, you don't need it? No big deal. Well, the next thing I do is when I transition into life insurance, there's a lot of different ways to do it, but this is my favorite way to do it. And I think it's pretty simple. Now, what I'll do when I transition into life insurance is I'll say, now, Miss Johnson, we sent out about 9 different types of cards. Let me take a look and see what type of card it was that you filled out. And I'll go back to my lead sheet, wherever it may be, and I'll zoom. I'll go up and down on my lead sheet, looking right here. I'll say, look at all these leads I got to see, Miss Johnson. There's so many people. We're so behind right now. I'm glad we were able to get out there to you. And then I'll pretend like I'm looking for her lead, even though I know where it's at. And then I'll go, oh, snap, look, here it is. Miss Rose Hodges. Okay. Oh, it looks like I see what it looks like. You filled out the card for the new state regulated life insurance plan. You see right here where it says information on life insurance right here. To receive information on life insurance right here. And then that is your signature right there, right, Miss Johnson? Oh, it is? Okay. Oh, so information on the life insurance, and then that's your signature right there, right, Mrs. Rose? Oh, it is? Okay, perfect. So it looks like you sent it in for the state regulated life insurance. No big deal. I guess that's what I'm here to go over with you. So at that point, you can't pause. You got to roll right into it, because if you pause, they're going to block you. But if you roll right into it, now that you showed them their signature and they filled out the card, what can they say? They got to listen to you because they filled it out for what you're there to talk about. So then I'll say, perfect. Now, when it comes to life insurance, Ms. Johnson, I'll say, now, when it comes to life insurance, Ms. Johnson, it looks like that's what you filled out the card for. Now, I don't work for any one particular life insurance company, but because I deal with insurance, I'm required to be licensed in insurance, and I work with all the companies. And then what I'll do is I'll name all the companies, because a lot of times they'll say, that's who I got. So I'll say right here, I'll say Globe, AARP, Colonial Penn, Physicians Mutual, Columbian, Senior Life, Lincoln Heritage, Royal Neighbors, Settlers, New York Life, Primerica, MetLife, Senior Life, Aetna, 5-Star, America, Assurity, Baltimore Life, Foresters, Liberty, Gerber, Kemper, Mutual of Omaha, National Guardian, Transamerica, Great Western. I don't work for any one particular life insurance company, but I work with all of them, and I always do the all of them. I work with all of them. So then I'll say, now, when it comes to life insurance, we usually run into 3 types of people. The first type of person is somebody who's got life insurance and they don't know what they got, or maybe they're in the wrong type of plan. And what I mean by the wrong type of plan is it's one that's going to go up on them in price, or it's going to cancel on them at a certain age. The second type of person is somebody who's got life insurance, but they're paying way too much money for it. And the third type of person is somebody who doesn't have anything at all. But listen to this line. But you seem pretty on top of things, Miss Johnson, so I'm guessing you probably do have some life insurance, right? Now, if you say it like that, they're going to be like, yeah, I do. And then you're going to say, perfect. Who do you got? And a lot of times they'll just tell you who it is that they got. Or if they say, no, I don't have any life insurance, I'm going to say, no big deal. I guess that's why you sent the card. Now, after that point, it's a yes, yes. It doesn't matter what they say. They're going down that golden yellow brick road. So after I go through it, now I'll say, now, Miss Johnson, there's 3 types of life insurance. There's term life, whole life, and universal whole life. Now, I say universal whole life because if they've got whole life, that creates some doubt in their mind. Wait, is it whole life or universal whole life? Now, I'll say, now, term life is just like it sounds. It's for a term of your life or terminate at a certain age. A lot of times, these are the plans that you get through work. They last for the term of your employment. But with term life plans, a lot of times you'll hear about those plans going up, and I always go like this, going up. But with term life, the problem with those is only about 6% or 7% of those plans ever pay out. The reason is because a lot of times they'll go up to where they're so expensive, people can't afford them, or they terminate while they're still alive and they outlive them. Because they go up in price and because they cancel at a certain age, only a small percentage of those plans ever pay out. A lot of times they're good for you when you're young. These term plans also have no cash value. So the money that you pay in all those years, you never get any of it back. They're good for you when you're young, under 40, but when you're over the age of 40, what most people want is whole life. And I said most people. It's that group effect, right? Now with whole life, it's just like it sounds. It lasts your whole life. With whole life, and then I zoom in right here, with whole life, the premiums never increase and the benefits never decrease. You're protected your whole life. Then I also read and say the cash value increases every year the policy stays in force. Most seniors on a fixed income want to make sure that their price never goes up. They also want to make sure that their life insurance is going to be there for their whole life. That's why most seniors want whole life, and it builds cash value. Now, the last type of life insurance is called universal whole life. Now, that's kind of like term life and whole life had a nasty, ugly baby. With universal whole life, you start off paying a certain amount for your insurance. At that time, the cost of insurance is less. But as you get older and the cost of insurance goes up, when it surpasses what you're paying per month, it starts eating away at the cash value from the beginning of the policy to offset that cost. And when all that cash value is gone, they send you a letter to your mailbox telling you it's time to make a choice. Either they're going to jack your rate up like 8 times more than what you're used to paying, or they're going to cancel your coverage, forcing you to find something else. The problem is most people get this letter when they're older and their health's gone down. So if they try to get new coverage at that point, either it's so expensive that they can't afford it, or their health's gone down with age and no carrier is going to protect them, forcing their family to be unprotected and at risk. Now, then I'll start asking some questions about just general questions if they've saved got coverage to punch holes in their policies. I'll say, now, Ms. Johnson, you mentioned that you got a whole life policy. Is that a graded or modified plan? You know, both of the, I'll say graded or modified, like it's one or the other. In reality, it doesn't have to be either. But I'll say, is that graded or modified? If they'll say it's graded, then I'll look at them and say, graded? And I'll say it's graded, and then they'll be like, well, I don't know. And then they'll say it's modified. I'll say it's modified, and I'll look at them like they're crazy. Then they'll be like, I don't know. And I'll be like, now, Miss Johnson, is that fraternal or mutual? Like it's one or the other. It doesn't have to be either. They're going to be like, oh, I don't know. And I'm going to say, you've been paying on it and you don't know? Well, we got to find out. At that point, I've just tried to help them with all these benefits. I'll say, does that come with any terminal illness or terminal cancer riders that you should be getting? Well, I don't know. What about nursing home benefits or in-home healthcare benefits? Have you had those activated on your policy yet? Well, I don't know. Well, you should. I mean, these are benefits you probably should be getting. Let me see if I can get those for you, and let's find out exactly what you're paying for. And I take that initial, that I take the proactive approach of getting their carrier on the phone, calling them on speakerphone, and at that point, I'm going to ask them all the general questions that this isn't the whole life, term life, or universal life. And it's on speaker. They're hearing all these answers. I just educated them on the good, bad, and the ugly of those three plans. So if they heard it's term life or universal life, they're looking at me like, oh no, what do I do? Don't worry, Miss Johnson, that's why I'm here. If I say, does this come with any terminal illness, terminal cancer, nursing home benefits? Oh, it doesn't? Oh man, I'm looking at them like they're crazy. We get off the phone, send the med sheet to the group chat, call for the in and up. At that point, you close the deal. It's easy, guys. I'm telling you, if you're not making sales, lean in. Trust me, I can show you guys how to get rich. And trust me, there's too many people around here who are doing it. This is so easy. It's like singing happy birthday or making a burrito at Chipotle. You just got to study on the front end to learn it. And I'm telling you, it's like riding a bike. You can do it from Austin to Boston, anywhere in between, and get the same results and making at least $1,000 a day. I'm telling you guys, there's so many people who need our help. There's more people requesting help with what we specialize in than we can even get to our own. And we need help. We need you guys to help serve these seniors. We all love our grandparents. Let's go ahead and help some other grandparents. You know what I mean? So it starts to get easy when you follow the 10 steps and when you ask for help and you got a good attitude and you do the basic things that you're supposed to do to be successful. But I'm already 4 minutes over on my next call. I wanted to give you guys all the juice. I'm sure that there's going to be plenty of questions. Feel free for everyone to reach out to me directly. Most of y'all should have my number. If you don't have it, find me in group chat, message me. I'll shoot you my number. And I promise you guys, nothing makes me happier than helping you guys win. This is going to be a record month. This is going to be a record year. And all of us are about to have our wildest dreams come through by helping serve the community with these basic needs. I'm telling you guys, this is the easiest thing ever. So I appreciate you guys getting on tonight. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. And as always, I'll meet you guys at the top. Peace and love.
Recording stopped.